Hey, welcome to the Throttle podcast. I'm your host, Earnest, here recording solo once again. I'm back in the studio after coming back from the Talladega trip, making the trip down myself. And although it took a while, I made it back eventually. But I just want to start off, I'm very thankful for the trip I got to take down to Talladega and the town of Jasper, Georgia. It's very calm, it's very nice, it's very peaceful, and although I didn't get to record that bonus episode I wanted to do live from the hotel, it's because I was able to go to the Dawsonville pool room, that night instead. So I thought that was really cool, and who knows, it might have provided some luck for actual race day, but we'll get to that in a minute. Speaking of race day, I brought my camera and we took a bunch of fire pics. You'll be able to check out those pictures later this week on my Instagram at chill.willphotography. Just a little shameless plug there. But some interesting racing. We had quite a few cautions early, but in the grand scheme of things, it was a pretty mundane Talladega race. We never really had the true big one. We had some hard hits, like with Bell and Busher into the inside wall, but we never had some real hard hits by a lot of competitors. We never had a true big one. They all kind of kept it straight, which was interesting. And there's a lot of criticism on the racing that we saw on Sunday, and we saw a lot of 3 and 4 wide action, and then it was kind of gridlock towards the end. But in my mind, we're still getting lots of lead changes, and we're still getting lots of competitive action. And I mean, you can improve the super speedway package, but the short tracks and the road course packages need to be worked on first. That needs to be NASCAR's top priority. So they need to work on that first. But that's my take. Now, Logano had a very interesting weekend. Of course, he got inducted into the Talladega Walk of Fame earlier this week. He had a pretty hot mic interaction after some miscommunication with Austin Cindric, his Penske teammate, who went on to win the race. But towards the end of stage 2, there was some miscommunication, and it costed them a stage win and points, and Bubba got the stage win instead. Logano was very hot mic'd up, and I don't know. I think he was just in heat of the moment, but you know, it is what it is. You can talk about it all you want, but it's another footnote. We just gotta move on. And Penske and RFK had an up and down day. You had Blaney and Keselowski get taken out in that early wreck. Cindric won the race. Priest and Logano originally finished 2nd and 5th, but they got disqualified due to spoiler violations, so that sends them to the back as well. And then Busher ended up in the back as well because he was involved in that hard crash with Bell. So, other than Cindric, just really unfortunate for Penske and RFK. But with those with the disqualifications, that moves all of our picks up a couple spots. Me and Haley, we picked Elliott, and I don't know, maybe it was the Dawsonville pool room, but Elliott ends up finishing 5th after the DQs. Stenhouse was 12th. Blaney crashed out, finished 37th, and Hamlin ended up finishing 21st. So, you know, Evan picked Stenhouse, Mason picked Blaney, and that's Mason's first DNF, which you'll see that it'll cost him in quite a minute. And then Zach picked Hamlin. But for the first time since the Briscoe penalty was reversed all the way back, like a couple of months ago. Somebody else is the new points leader instead of Mason. It's me, actually. I lead by 20 over Mason, 41 over Evan, 127 over Zach, and technically 182 over Haley, although she's only run 4 races worth, but still something to note. So, overall, I thought Talladega was a good race. I mean, obviously being biased since I was down there at the track, it's myself, but you had 3 and 4 wide action, and even with only a couple cautions for incident early in the race, and then the stage cautions, and then the rest of it going green, there were quite a few strategies. Toyota had their strategy later in the race that looked like it was going to work, and it didn't work. It ended up not working. So, yeah. You can complain about the Super Speedway package all you want, but there are far more glaring issues like the short track package and the road course package, and even keeping fans on TV watching the race. I mean, TV numbers still hit like 4 million viewers on Fox, as this is the last not only race on main Fox, it's the last broadcast network race until the summer Daytona race in late August on NBC. But the Fox TV numbers came out, and Talladega was down like 6% from last year. So, and it's such a shame because a lot of races this year on the Cup side, and like every race on the Xfinity side, has gone significantly up in viewership. So it's kind of a shame to see that kind of downfall there. So, yeah. Some quick NHRA news. They were at the 4 wide Nats again, or another 4 wide Nats, but it was the spring version at Charlotte, Z-Max Dragway. Sean Langdon, he won in Top Fuel for the second time this year. It was actually the 1,000th Top Fuel race. And Austin Brock in Funny Car, Dallas Glenn in Pro Stock, and Matt Smith in Pro Stock Motorcycle won the 5th race of 2025 in NHRA. But other than that, that's kind of about it, except really kind of the hot topic down there in the drag racing world. In the second qualifying session, you had Brittany Force resetting not only the Top Fuel speed record, but her own record, as she clocked in at 341.59 miles an hour. That's the second fastest speed in NHRA history, behind, of course, Austin Brock's Funny Car record time last fall at Pomona. But that 341.59 miles an hour is the fastest mile per hour speed that Top Fuel has ever gone, and it's the first time that Top Fuel's even cracked the 340 mile per hour barrier. So good for Brittany Force. It's not the first time she's reset the record and reset her own record, and it probably won't be the last time either. But kind of looking ahead now from Texas next week, tripleheader. You have Jesse Love's going to make his second career start with Beard Motorsports. I believe this might be the first time, or one of the first times, that Beard Motorsports has run back-to-back races. Like, I don't ever remember them doing that, but maybe I missed it. And then Chad Fincham making his return. He's driving for Garage 66, and that's in the Cup race. Other than that, just the 36 charters. But in Texas being the chaotic mile and a half it is, you really don't know who could come out on top. You had Elliott, of course, win the race last year. That's his most recent win, so he hasn't won in a year. But you really don't know who you're going to see. You could see Elliott. You could see Hamlin, who was running up there before he got wrecked. You could see Chastain, who was second on the last lap before he got wrecked. You could see Byron. You could see Reddick. You know, both who are past winners at Texas. You really don't know who you're going to see. So, yeah. And for Elliott, the win at Texas last year, it's his most recent Cup points win, as in he hasn't won in a year, not counting his win at the Clash in February. But other than that, that's really about it. It's been a long weekend for me. I took quite a bit of time driving back. Had some difficulties getting back, but we made it back, and it was a nice weekend. After this week at Texas, it'll be Kansas the following week, which I'll be there as well. So that's 2 races in 3 weeks right there. But regardless, later this week, make sure you look out at Chillwell Photography for the pics from the race. Make sure you follow the Instagram at Throttle Podcast for podcast updates, and listen to this short episode and previous episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But thank y'all for listening and tuning into this quick little recap episode, and we'll see y'all next week.